All right, we are live. So if you're watching on YouTube, timestamps will be below in the description for when the channeled intuitive collective reading starts, and also for when the full channel mode session starts, if we do that today, which we probably will. So you can just jump ahead, because otherwise I'm just going to be hanging out, saying hello to chat and everyone who shows up here. And as it's my habit, I think when I start recording these, I'm going to drink some water. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Leo. How's it going today? Oof. They're getting me into channel mode here. Just cleaning some crap, I guess. It's a brand new world, Brandon. Hey, that's awesome, I think. How's it getting better? Hey, how's it going? Good. Awesome, Sarah. I'm glad to hear it. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Thank you, Leo. No, that means a lot. I really appreciate it. So anyone, if this gets posted on YouTube and people are watching this, Leo says, just want to remind you, I truly appreciate you and your videos so much. That means a lot. Thank you. Hey, little Mandy Dandy. Awesome. Yeah, we're going to hang out for just a second longer. We love the haircut too. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Yeah, I probably could have made sure I looked at it before I went live, but I think it should look pretty decent. But thank you. Yeah, it's been something I've been meaning to do for a while, so finally was able to get around to it. Have to watch the recording? Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, as long as there aren't any technical difficulties with this this live, it should be on YouTube for sure. Thanks, Dalai Lama. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, at least for me, as I get older, if my hair keeps thinning out, I think the shorter look tends to look a bit better with all that. So I'll just work with what I have. Hey. I feel like I'm going to mispronounce this. It's like meshed braids. Hi. All right, so I'm getting to start the reading here. So, oh my gosh, I am feeling just like I feel a little bit better now that I sat in here and we started going with the live here. I just feel so tired today. I am rearranging my sleep schedule, and sometimes when you do that, it just like when you get to certain times and your body clock's not used to it or whatever, it just feels so terrible. So it's Maria, by the way. It's been a long time. Oh, awesome. I think I remember you, but I'm glad that you're here, and it's good to see you again. Anyways, yeah, so I think we'll be good today. I feel pretty decent right now. I'm sure it won't affect the channeling or intuition at all. I just let you know, I guess. Tired today too, just woke up from a nap, couldn't fight. It was a little weird. I understand. Yeah, I hear that. Okay, so they're telling me to start. So I'm going to channel my spirit guides, the angels, and the source for you guys, just to bring through whatever information would be for your highest good. So for the channel timeless reading, it's just for you whenever you see it, whether you're here live or on YouTube. If there aren't any technical difficulties and this is able to be posted on YouTube, then I'll be working with my intuition on all this as well, just to bring through what you need to hear, what would be for your highest good, what's going to help you out right now, what's coming up, just whatever else would be for the highest good to come through. So they're giving me the start. So let us start. So there should be a reptile for starters. It looks like a bearded dragon or like a bearded lizard or whatever. And they're showing me the thing where lizards like dock their tail to like escape from a situation, to escape from predators. So let's see what the message is on the tail and the lizard here. I'll just tell you what I'm hearing and what they're showing me. It's like there are potentially a lot of situations ending, or if they're not ending yet, there will be like situations ending soon, and it might like feel like you need to, quote, metaphorically dock your tail or something to get out of them or escape from them, but you're going to be fine. They're also giving me the word close calls here. So, all right, here's the summary. There are situations ending, but you're going to be fine. Okay. That might be an easier way to get it across than trying to talk about the intricacies of tails docking their lizards. Oh my gosh, easier for me to say. Lizards docking their tails and escaping, and how that applies as a metaphor. But let's see what else I'd like to get to for you guys here. So if you feel like you've had any near misses in the past when you're coming to this, I do feel like things are going to get easier up ahead regarding all that, or just regarding like situations. I feel like Spirit's giving you some breathing room up here soon as well. So you just have a bit more space for yourself, or a bit more space to like make decisions or choices in life that are good for you. So that's good here. So we're going back to the tail though here. If you feel like, if you're coming to this, you're watching this and you're like, feel like you're losing something, I feel like you're not going to be losing it for long. Like if you feel like you're losing something, this might not be all of you, but if you feel like you're losing something important, or like a situation in your life you didn't want to lose, like something's going to come back around, or something's going to come in and replace it in the near future here. So it might not end up being a big loss. No, of course, like that probably is not going to apply to like if someone, I don't think anyone's going to die or anything like that. But like if you're coming here with a loss like that, I feel like this portion I just talked about, that's referring to something else. You know, it's not referring to like the loss of like someone passing over or something like that. It's more like if you're losing an object or like a job situation or something like that. So Spirit has like backup plans for things you're losing, if anything, and you're going to be okay. That's kind of what the docked lizard tail is kind of saying, or what I'm getting it's saying for this right now, which is interesting here. So next thing they're showing me is a sandstorm with the phrase, I'm not saying this is what's coming up, we'll see what this is saying, but the phrase difficult situations is here with the sandstorm. And there are a bunch of people like taking cover. There's the sand people from Star Wars, if you remember like Star Wars episode like 1 or something, the prequels where there's like the sand people that are like shooting at the pod racers, for anyone who will remember that. Anyways, let's see what's up with the sandstorm here. So you are protected from a lot of the storms right now is what I'm getting. If you're someone who's had trouble moving forward, and this isn't probably going to be every single one of you, but if you're someone who's been having trouble moving forward, you might just be divinely protected from like the storms, or like you're being divinely protected from the storms, where it's like if you ventured out of like this sand hut or this like enclosure that's keeping you safe from the sandstorm, you just kind of get whipped in the face with sand, and then like you start to suffocate because it's hard to breathe because it's a sandstorm and you're not like really seeing, you know, too far ahead. So it's almost like, of course, there's a divine timing to when you're moving forward, to when things are moving forward. So try not to be up on yourself if it has been difficult to move things forward, you know, and I would definitely like trust the divine timing with things like that as well. I almost feel it almost seems a little bit trite when I go to say that, but that is what I'm hearing. So I'm not going to just make things up and say something different. So what else is going on with the sandstorm, if anything here? So you're being kept safe from storms, collective storms, metaphorical storms, of course. So what else is going on with this? So one message is it is okay sometimes to just enjoy the now and enjoy the present moment. Like you don't always have to be like productive 24/7 is the way I'm getting it. Because in this like sand hut, there's like a sand person from Star Wars, you know, while the sandstorm is raging outside, they're like knitting or something, like they're crafting something. And it's kind of just like whiling away the hours. It's not bad. Like they're kind of enjoying themselves. They have tea. So they're kind of making the most of the storm and like sheltering from it just by kind of like enjoying it and by enjoying that downtime. So if you really can't move forward right now, like if you can, how can you enjoy your now and make that more enjoyable for you? And you know, they're showing me or flashing in something that's kind of reminding me of how, like, sometimes when you're patient, it like things kind of just speed up. Maybe not every single time, but I think I read it originally. The way it was phrased to me, I originally read it in a book, and the author was kind of saying like, hey, you ever know how when you're like in a hurry and you're trying to like walk somewhere really quickly, everyone just moves really freaking slowly and you're just like, "Arr!" But if you're like just relax and like you kind of step into patience, then all of a sudden people start moving faster again or something like that, or it just things flow a bit more. So that is kind of what they're trying to get me to get across here. Maybe that's a good tactic to employ right now if you feel a bit stuck or feel a bit frustrated, okay? Because eventually the storm will pass and there's sunny skies and rainbows and the sand people wave you goodbye and you can just kind of ride your metaphorical motorbike or Star Wars vehicle off to your destination here. But it's kind of like a divine timing thing, okay? So let's see where we're going next here if we're done with the sandstorm. But okay, let's rephrase this one more time or reiterate this. Like, what can you enjoy right now? Like, what brings you joy? What fills your time that brings you peace and joy? How can you do more of that? And like, they're showing me video games. It could be like, it doesn't matter if it's video games or if it's knitting or if it's playing guitar, like whatever it is, you know, it's probably a good idea to do more of that. Okay. Cause you know what? I think it needs, oh my gosh. I think it could be said very, very many times, and I think it'd be okay, where it's like life is meant to be enjoyed. Like there's a certain amount of enjoyment that's meant to be there in life. It's like probably one of the reasons you incarnated, honestly, for at least most people. Yeah. Honestly, like you didn't come here just to like suffer. There's like so many conversations we could go to that I think I've already had in these lives. And I know some of you are newer, so it'd be fine if we had them again. And some people would probably be good to have the reminders, but you know, probably part of the reason you're here is to enjoy your life and have fun. And I think when we take things too seriously and we try to make life about lessons, it's not that fun and we kind of get more lessons, and that's not really what life is about as far as what I get. And I know that's very antithetical to what else you might have seen out there when people get really hardcore about life's about lessons, and if it's not for you, you're doing it wrong. And it's like, that's actually what I was getting, is that's kind of a low vibe take. So what if part of the purpose of life is to have fun and enjoy it? And it doesn't mean you don't have other missions that you're here for as well. If you feel like you're here to help people or facilitate healing or something else, like those can belong too. It's just, I think sometimes we stick ourselves when we buy a belief that life is about hardship and suffering and lessons, and then yeah, that we can just have a better life. Okay. So that's what I'll say on it for now, at least. Anyways, let me see what they'd like me to get to and get back on track here with all this here. They're showing me selenite, like a big brick of selenite here, just a big block of it, and they're showing you, or a representation of you hugging it and just kind of sitting there with it and just kind of letting it clear you. So what's up with this one here on this message? I mean, that's something I do. It was something that actually someone else I know recommended for me to do after I facilitate like one-on-one channeled intuitive readings, or depending on how I'm doing afterwards, sometimes things like this, just to help kind of clear energies from if there was anything from the other person, you know, faster, or just to move to a better place faster. If I'm struggling energetically after a reading or something like that. And so maybe that's something to consider for some of you, if you have a big selenite log to cuddle or hold, just to kind of clear things, or maybe working with selenite in some way after work could be helpful for you. Or maybe it's just like building a selenite crystal grid with 6 selenite pieces that you sit inside after work with the intention to clear your energies. So some things like that are kind of showing up, interestingly enough, as like a recommendation. But let me see what else is going on here. So there is also a message that it's leading to as well, in addition to just that concept, okay? And that is that Source is clearing you right now, especially like old traumas, just old ideas, old beliefs. You probably know the drill, you know, with things like that. So if you have a lot coming up, especially like from the past, like hang in there, like it's going to be cleared out. If you are going through that, it's, as far as like a time frame, if it's like super, super, super intense, I'm not saying it's going to be super, super, super intense for like a year, but I'm saying like the time frame for this is like a year for the longest, and it's not going to be a year for all of you. It's just for those of you where it is a longer term kind of clearing that you're moving through. It's going to be like the next 12 months. Okay. And for some of you, others of you listening, it's going to be like a week. Some of you, it's going to be like a day. Some of you, it's just like the hour you're tuning into this. It's like, it's different for each of you. But there is kind of this message of trauma clearing and like just older energies leaving because you're ready for a new phase and that's coming in and you're being cleared for it. And sometimes it sucks when we're going through a clearing, and sometimes it's full of ease and joy and it's not that bad. And sometimes it sucks depending on where you're at and what source has you moving through, but it is going to get better. So hang in there with all that. You're just being cleared for a new phase is, I guess, the summary of that one here. So there's a bit more they'd like to get to here. One other thing they're talking about here is like the clearing of past life trauma as well. Like not all the trauma you're clearing from something like that. And that can, as far as like how that's happening, that can happen through life events. That can happen where it's just energetically happening. It can happen through your dreams. It can happen through just a number of different things. Like maybe you have past life memories kind of surfacing, and like things are releasing or weird things like that. And like, that's okay. Again, it's a temporary phase, the clearing thing. But there's a lot of that leaving right now as well. So if you have things coming up and you're like, where is this coming from? Like, it might not be from this lifetime, is kind of what I'm hearing on that one. So just keep that in mind too. And if you're asking, how do you end up healing that? One, the process we just kind of described does that, like just going through what you're going through with the clearing, whether it's life circumstances that are triggering certain similar feelings or things like that, without wrecking or ruining your life, by the way, necessarily. Or it's, you can do it with energy healing, like whether it's Reiki or a different modality. There are tons of different ways to do that work. So if you are wondering how to actively do that, I would look into a modality that resonates for you, particularly an energy healing one, like Reiki or something like that. And if it feels right to you and you're knowing an intuition, Access Consciousness has stuff that occasionally they talk about dealing with past life, or actually a lot of the time. But my disclaimer for that is just trust your own knowing and intuition with how far you go with anything like Access Consciousness. That's my disclaimer. Okay, so let's see where we're going next here. So they still want to delve further into past life healing regarding you guys for some reason. It just is a major theme, I guess, for at least about half of you. And for the rest of you, it's there, just not a focal point maybe. So it's, I guess, worth mentioning anyways. And you've cleared a lot of past life stuff and you're like almost there is what I'm hearing. As far as what there is, it's like, there is like this point where things are really, really, really smooth out is what I'm getting. It's like you've kind of cleared a lot of the walls and things in the way of you having a really good time is the way I'm hearing it. So as far as what we were just talking about, this could be a good like last hurrah for some of you if you're starting to kind of go through some things right now, or maybe for some of you, it's not as serious. It's not like a huge thing where you're like, or something like that. So, which is great. That's good too. Or if you like to use the words good. What else is going on here? I guess that's just kind of the message. That's just kind of the message. So moving on here, there's gold and there are rainbows in this next thing showing up here as an intuitive visual. So what's up with this here? Also, the phrase God's promise, which has been showing up in some of the recent videos I've been facilitating recently. So what's up with this? So some of you might feel like in some way, shape, or form, somehow, you've been promised gold in your life or this lifetime, and all you've gotten is crap. They use the swear word version, but I'll say crap for the algorithm and the whatever, the platform. And the message is like, there is gold that is actually on the way for you guys. So it's not like you're just going to get crap forever or anything like that. One thing that might be helpful for you regarding the situation in the meantime is just working through your beliefs, maybe even working through like, what do you think you're worthy of? Like, what do you believe you're worthy of? Like, what have you been sold you're worthy of? What have you bought that you're worthy of? And things like that. Or if it's about money, like, what are your beliefs around money? I've talked about this before, but they're telling me to talk about it again. So I will talk about it again for you. And essentially, there was one time I was digging through money beliefs, okay? And one way I do that is I will channel on what my beliefs are. So I'll be like, okay, what are my beliefs around money? And then I'll ask my spirit guides or the angels or source, or if you channel your soul, however you do it. If you like to say highest self, that's fine. Do what works for you. And then they'll tell me like what those beliefs are. So I was like, okay, this was a while ago. It's a lot better now, but I'm like, okay, what are my beliefs around money? It was like, money is difficult. Oh, ooh. Money is hard. It's hard to come by money. Oh no. And so, and that really matched how my reality was showing up at the time, for the most part, where it was like the things I would do for money were really hard on me at the time. Or they were hard to go through. It just like, and there wasn't a lot of money, like, I wasn't doing as well at that time period. So, yeah, maybe it's a good time to dig into beliefs like that, whether it's intuitively or in some other way, and start to shift those and clear them. Whether you do energy healing or, again, if you use access or something else entirely, whatever works for you. If you'd like to move towards some of that gold, maybe faster, or just be prepared for it in a more ease-filled way. That's not the way they wanted me to say it. What's the best way to say it? Just so you can bring it in, and bring it in sooner. So that's one thing to potentially look at if you feel like that message is really pinging for you or hitting for you there. For others of you here, there is this message that there is a lot of hope on the way for this crowd, whether it's like light coming in the cracks. Not all of you are going to be going through a dark time, but if you are, light kind of shining through the cracks and showing you the way, or just like you're kind of seeing the way out of a situation, or you're seeing the way to something, or it's just feeling hope in general for the world or your life. There's just a certain amount of God showing you the way is the way I'm hearing it. And to me, like, I'll use God, spirit, and source interchangeably, but I'll just say the word I'm hearing in the moment when I'm channeling it. And this time I heard God. So that's that explanation, I guess. And yeah, so it's God, hope showing up is in like God showing you the way and just kind of opening pathways for you. And the other message is like, you're not alone. Like, there is a lot of spiritual support for you. There's a lot of angelic support. Definitely call upon it like every day. Just be like, source, help me through this situation. Source, please help me to turn things around. If this is hitting for you, this part. Okay, so that's all they wanted to say. We're moving on now. So they're showing me the color purple and it's violet. They're giving me the phrase like violet ray. If you've heard of like the 7 rays or whatever, and I'm not like super gung-ho like into that, like I'll just be like fully honest, like the whole ascended master thing and like the 7 rays, and like there's just kind of some weird, not everyone and not everything about it is weird, but there's also just some weird stuff about it. They're like, are you really there? Like, eh. And as far as like ascended masters, like, yes, I can channel ascended masters, I can work with them. I was also getting like they're kind of like, it's like a way the divine is showing up or working through, it's like a guise the divine's working through. I'm not convinced ascended masters are a thing as much as like the angels are, or like sources, you know what I'm saying, as far as what I've gotten about it. And it's not to like denigrate and say everyone who does that and works with that is wrong. They're so bad. It's just like me being honest about what I get about it. Okay. And like, it can work for people, it's not like it doesn't work. It's just, it's not maybe the most perfect take, and that's fine. But why were the 7 rays showing up, and why was the violet ray showing up here? Okay, so the reason that's showing up is they'd like to encourage you to work with the violet flame and energies or things that transmute around this time period, just because there is so much drama and trauma flying around with like other people, or if you turn on the news or just scroll online through like any videos, like people will just like trauma dump, like you'll scroll and then they'll be like, they won't process their emotions. They'll just be like all over anyone who will listen. And it's, I think it's not to judge them. I don't think a lot of people are taught how to like effectively deal with anything sometimes. And if they don't really go on that journey to either seek that out or it doesn't get to them somehow, then they'll probably be apt to do that. And I understand. However, it's not really your job to like take that on or always like sit there and listen to them or maybe even validate them sometimes. Sometimes it's your job to like kind of move on and live your best life and let them sort it out unless you're guided to help them somehow or like, oh yeah, this is something I'm supposed to do or some role I'm supposed to fill. And that's what my intuition says. Anyways, so Violet Flame, if you're not, most of you will be familiar probably. If you're not, you can definitely find a lot of information really quickly if you Google it. I think there's a whole book on it. I don't have any specific resources to recommend, honestly. If you would like, well, what would be for that for me to say here? Just so you know, if you do any type of other energy healing and you hadn't encountered this yet, you can just pretty much ask for any energy from source and it'll flow. So you could just be like, okay, ask for the Violet Flame to flow and flow through me. Thanks so much. And it will flow. The intention, you can visualize it or just ask that it does this, but it flows from source. It can enter through your crown chakra. You can just let it flow through your body. You can ask it to flow directly from source to things or situations. Like just maybe experiment with it and see what kind of works for you about that. But that's just one recommendation right now. Just energies that transmute, things that transmute could be really helpful here. And some of you are like pros with working with the Violet Flame, so no need to worry there. Just do your thing. So we're moving on here. There's food. There's an autumn harvest. There's a grasshopper wearing, okay. Well, there's a grasshopper wearing like a cowboy hat, but then it was wearing like, that farmer painting where it's like the farmer and his wife and there's just like two old people in front of a house or something like that. That's like pretty famous. And the farmer's holding like a pitchfork, I think. Like there was like a grasshopper, but he was wearing the glasses and like a mustache or like a disguise or a costume or something. It was interesting. So let's see what the message is with this silly example showing up here. Or if it's silly, let's see what's going on. So good news is I feel like we've had a lot of things that like haven't seemed like, I mean, some of it's been good news, but there is a harvest coming in. So there are certain like rewards coming in is the way I'm hearing it, certain like good things, certain prosperity, certain energetic rewards, even if it's just like life gets easier, for example. And a lot of these are things you've done the work for, is something I'm getting that's coming in, or it's just a gift from spirit. Please enjoy is what I'm hearing. So that's really cool. As far as like the farmer message with the grasshopper and the word Amish is showing up for some reason. So let me sit with it just a second here. Okay, here's a really good message. In the next 3 months, there's going to be an uptick of abundance for this crowd. And that doesn't mean like stop doing the work or doing whatever work you're doing to improve your life or to improve, if you have a business, your business or whatever. It's kind of a message of like, keep going. And so there's going to be an uptick of abundance, which is great. I feel like I haven't totally hit all the farm messages though. So what else is going on here? So another message for you guys is like things are going to look completely different in a year. So they showed the grasshopper, like, because they jump and they fly and stuff, right? But he just kind of flew away and like the scene kind of changed and everything looked completely different. And the message was like, your life is going to look completely different in a year. At least for about half of you. So like just hang in there right now, is one of the messages for most of you. For the other half, we talked about you're going to have the choice for your life to look really different in a year or so. And it's going to be kind of up to you. It's going to be like an obvious choice is something I'm getting at. It could be like, here's a job opportunity that's going to change a lot of things, or like you'll have to move for. Or it could be like, maybe it's you having an opportunity to break up with someone or to get with someone or something else, I know some of you just started feeling sad when I said break up. So I'm not saying you have to break up with your partner. Just so you know. I just felt the heartbreak energy, just like, no, you don't have to do it. Sorry. Um, I don't know why that cracked me up, but let me get back to the messages here. So it could be a number of different things, but you'll have the choice for your life to look completely different in a year. And if it feels light and good to you, I would take that opportunity. If you don't want to break up with someone, that's fine. That was just an example. Okay. So let's see what's next here. And I know a lot of the times, like, because the examples are channeled, like sometimes, very, very, very rarely, I might just like say an example, but usually they'll be like, no, don't say that. Here's a different one. So I realize a lot of the examples will hit for certain ones of you where there's like, it's very synchronistic or there's a reason it came through. But yeah, I don't think you're all gonna have to break up with someone. So next thing they're showing me is this wave. It's like a tsunami. Someone is surfing on this wave. They're also showing me it's like a beer that I've seen before. I think it's called like Kona maybe. And it's like, they have like these loggers and all the marketing is like, it has surfboards on it and stuff because it's from Hawaii. So that might be a sign for some of you. So what's up with the surfing? It's just a reminder here of just ride the waves, ride the waves of change, kind of ride the seasons out right now. Here's another message coming in. Like, part of the reason that's coming through is like some of you are on this like wait list, metaphorically, that Spirit has for like really great things, and you're just kind of like waiting your turn here. So again, I'm gonna say, like, it doesn't mean stop moving or stop taking action. It just means these things are coming and it just hasn't shown up yet, So keep doing the best you can, but there are some like great things coming for a lot of you who are riding the waves here. For others of you, if you don't feel like it's great things coming in, it's like a wait list for like a turnaround where it's like you're riding this wave and you feel like it's almost like they're showing me wave surfing, but it's like if it was a highway, like there's like these waves you're surfing to like get to a destination, and then you have to like exit this wave and get on this wave to like go this other way. And it's really easy to explain if I could just give you the visual of what I was seeing, and it's probably something that's really interesting to try and put into words, because there's stoplights and like it's kind of funny. There's like yeah, so there's like the squid directing traffic. Anyways, coral reef things going on, but let's see what's going on here. So it's like you're riding this wave and you feel like you're missing your turn, and it's the thing is, like, because you're riding waves in this visual, it's kind of hard to force it to happen yourself. It's kind of hard to just be like jet off in a specific direction that's not a direction the wave's taking you. So you're like, Spirit, what's going on? I'm missing my turn, or I'm missing my big break is another way it's showing up. I'm missing where I'm supposed to be going. It's like, I need to go right here. And Spirit's actually saying like, no, that's not it. Like, that's not your turn. That's not your destination. That's not where you're headed. There's something up ahead that's like better. So if you feel like you're missing out on something, or you're supposed to be doing something, but it's not happening. For some of you, it's feeling like you have a really big purpose, but it's like not happening yet. And you're like, Spirit, I have this thing. I'm supposed to, Spirit, no, Spirit, stop, Spirit, no. And Spirit's kind of just saying like, hey, relax. It's coming. It's up ahead. Like, trust me. Like, there's just a better opportunity. There's a better big break. And I know break is kind of a pun because the waves breaking. Haha. There's a better destination, whatever it is, that how this applies to you, So I would just trust that, and trust that turnaround will happen at the right time, and you'll exit the wave to the best place if you're trusting this. And like again, like if you try to force it, it's like not going anywhere. Because if you get off the wave, you're just gonna like sink, and you'll have to catch a different wave, So and I wouldn't take that too literally. I'm just like letting you know the way it's showing up intuitively to describe the situation. So keep riding that wave. You'll get off at the right time. Okay. So let's see. There's more on all this before we move on. No. Yeah. Before we get to whatever is next. No. So what's next here? So again, they showed me that beer, earlier, and they're re-emphasizing it in my intuitive visuals. So what's up with it here? All right, I kind of already said it earlier, and I know some of you are just tuning in like halfway through, and that's no big, but some of you just kind of need to relax right now. And like, if you have been trying to force things, like stop trying to force things and just like really relax let go, listen to your divine guidance or intuition, whether that shows up instantly for you or it takes, wherever you're at with that. Because I know some people, it's just like right there, right away. For some people, maybe they need some days and then something hits them. Like wherever you're at, it's okay. But there is this message of just like relaxing, kind of letting go and being like, where is spirit leading this? Or like, what would be best for me? Like, or like, what do I need next? And instead of just kind of trying to blindly force things, it's really getting centered and seeing like what comes to you and what you'd like to have and like where things are going and just kind of moving from there in an empowered place instead of like forcing things. And you're going to be doing a lot better. And the other thing I'm hearing is like relaxation can kind of solve a lot of stuff. I'm going to have to explain this because you're going to be like, what? Because I'm kind of maybe talking about something that may or may not be slightly different than what you're assuming I'm talking about when I say relaxation. So I'm going to explain the whole thing. I'm borrowing a bit from, so there's this guy and he goes by Dr. Dane here and he works with Access. And again, my disclaimer with Access is just, trust your intuition with how far you go with it, what you do with it, etc. But anyways, one concept they talk about is relaxation. And I don't really hear anyone else talking about this concept like this. And I really like it. And I found it can be really, really kind of a game changer depending on how you implement it. And they'll talk about like, like relaxation isn't just something you do like before you pass on and like leave this, this plane. Like you can kind of like live in relaxation more. Like if you have a lot of work to do, you can just kind of relax into it and you're just kind of relaxed and working. It doesn't have to be like just like, like butt cheeks clenched, like typing away, like must be successful. It can be more of like all right, let's just relax and just have ease and grace and just go. And it can just be really enjoyable. But same with like life. I found like there was this thing he did for relaxation and I kind of sometimes I'll use like energy healing things people do. Like, of course, like the session itself counts. I'll also use them as like intentions where I'll be like, okay, I'm going to put this on this playlist and play it. Yes, for the energy healing or whatever, but also for the intention of like, yeah, relaxation sounds good. And my life actually got a lot better because I'd have these like moments of like relaxation where I didn't realize I wasn't relaxing before, if that makes sense. So it'd be like, even if it's things where you'd think it'd be relaxing, it was like way more relaxed. I'm like, oh, I don't have to like worry about things. I don't have to stress about the future. I'm just going to relax and enjoy this moment. And it's really great, whether it's listening to music or watching something, or if it's whatever, or if it's working and you're relaxed and it's light and enjoyable, like that's so much better than just like, stress. So that's more of what I mean by like relaxation can kind of or what they meant, because they said that actually, what that relaxation can like solve a lot of things or help a lot of things, because you might not realize how up in like your head and like not having fun you are. I phrase that so weird. So you might not realize how in your head and like stressed you are, or like anxious if you're picking up on other people's anxious energies even, but then when you experience that relaxation, you're just like so much better. So anyways, how can you set intentions and move towards relaxation in your life? Not just as far as like doing nothing, but just like bringing that energy and experience into more things, even where you think it can't exist, and just see if you can enjoy life more with that. And you might also find when you do that, you're moving faster when you're doing things. And that's just one of those interesting things. So let's see where else you'd like me to go. Because if you don't perceive it, I definitely feel that lightness and that energy of relaxation a bit more, or I felt it around me more as I was kind of talking about it and talking about kind of the situations. So maybe that's something you'll be able to kind of just pick up on energetically as you're listening, or if you re-listen to it on YouTube, if this gets reposted, or if you did listen to it on YouTube. So anyways, let's see what's next here. Okay, sorry, they're done. So I hope that helped, resonated. I just unclenched. There you go, Cassidy. I hope this helped, resonated to whoever was for your eyes good. And we're going to do a full channel mode session, probably like now here. And yeah, so hope that just did whatever it felt it immediately. Perfect, Heather. There we go. Y'all know what's going on. Oh yeah, lady. So they're just saying just start the full channel. I might hang out with chat for a second. So full channel mode, of course, if you've been hanging out with me in these lives, or attending is a weird word. School is in session. Attendance. If you've been showing up for these lives for a while, you probably know what's up with full channel mode. Pretty much I just step out of the way, jump into full channel mode, allow my spirit guides, the angels and source to channel through me and bring through a message. However, in addition to the message, there's also an energetic transmission for the highest good, a frequency, and that can do really cool things. That can move energies, that can open your third eye, intuition channeling. If you're meant to channel, that can maybe be like a healing session and stuff like that. So there's more than just the words, if you will, with the channel. So all that being said, let's see. Anything else before we start? Anything I need to say? Nope. Been blissed out all day. Hey, how's it getting better? Sounds great. I'm glad to hear that. Ooh, Marina is doing their Reiki Masterclass next weekend. Very exciting. Please enjoy. Please be uplifted and upgraded. I'm not going to put anything on it. I hope that goes absolutely splendidly. May it be totally the best it could be for you, for the highest good. And I'm sure you'll do great. And by the way, thanks for being here, Marina. And shout out to anyone who's been moderating in the comments. And shout out to anyone who's volunteered to be a moderator. Marina is one of them. I really appreciate it. You look great, B. Thanks, Lady Lethal. I appreciate it. Any warnings for first timers? Not really. I don't think there's anything you need to be afraid of. It might be helpful if you close your eyes and treat it like a meditation and just kind of see where it takes you. I guess that's kind of it, though. You know, and maybe if you get really ungrounded, you'll wish to ground afterwards or something. But I don't think that's super important for me to say for you right now. Surfing video came up on my feed the same exact moment you brought through the surfing message. Heck yeah, love that. How's it getting better? Synchronicity. Thanks, Leo. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to start full channel mode. Sometimes they'll give me a theme before we start, and sometimes they're just like, no, just start the message. They're showing me like an engine, like a Corvette engine, actually, like a V8 or like a V12 or something powerful. And there's a message about recharging the engine showing up or something like that. So something about this is going to be about your probably metaphorical engine and probably not your literal car engine. But we'll see where they go, okay? So let's see what happens here. And we're starting in just give me 3 seconds, and then you'll know when it's starting probably. Welcome, welcome, abundant beings. Your engine. Your energetic engine, to be exact, that is what we will be speaking to and speaking about for you. For you are in a phase where you are being rebuilt by spirit through the things that are going on around you, perhaps even through healing sessions. You are booking for yourself, or you are facilitating for yourself if you are an energy healer. You are being directed, redirected, guided through this engine change for you to upgrade for your new paths ahead and for the future that awaits you. For you are being pulled into a new future and specific direction that has been on your soul for quite some time. For those of you showing up for this, and this may surprise you. For some of you have an identity that your engine is built like a little 4-cylinder tiny city car, and that you are not built for big things or built for large adventures or built for anything more than an average normal life. Well, you will be surprised when you realize Spirit has added on 2 extra cylinders, a turbo, a nitro boost, And that spirit is actually going to be putting you off to the races, so to speak. And this is not for spirit's pleasure or entertainment or enjoyment. This is for you and for your path and for something your soul signed up for. So if you find yourself being rebuilt in this time, mentally, emotionally, energetically, you have a future that's calling you. And those of you who know you're built for big things, you know you have a big engine, and it just hasn't seemed like it's kicked off to the fullest extent quite yet. Well, the blockages to your engine, in your engine metaphorically, are being removed. The limits on your engine are being removed. The connections are being rewired. Things are being polished. The engine's being polished. And you will have your chance. Sometimes in your life, it serves you to have a certain identity for a certain period of time, whether it's the first half of your life, a certain 20-year period in your life when you are a teenager. For example, you may consider a teenager who is a metalhead or into metal music or heavier music, and their identity is metal or die, so to speak. Not literally, of course. And that is what they pour their soul into, their attention into, their time into. And that really serves them for what they are healing in that time period, for what they are directing and aiming for later on in their life, as far as what their soul would like for them. However, in their 20s, they may have something happen like a spiritual awakening, or they may become infatuated with a different area of life, and they will pivot into a new future or a new path that serves them. And this is just normal life, some of you may be thinking. Well, bear with us, we are getting to something here. Some of you remain attached to the old identities and think that is who you are. But rather, that is just a phase of who you are. And even currently, you may just find yourself in a phase of who you are. Who you are, as the humans would say. For all that can change in an instant. While you may seem attached to an identity in an emotional or mental way, in truth, you are actually a bit more fluid than that. You are not literally attached to or stuck with it in the ways you might think. These things can shift. And while it can be dramatic in the human experience or the emotional or mental experience, when a vast identity shift occurs, such as your engine being rebuilt, hint, hint, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean you're actually losing you. You are just losing a phase of you. So as your engine is rebuilt, as you're moved into new phases, as you're called into new futures, even ones that may surprise you, trust that you are built for it. Just because you've never done anything like it before doesn't mean you aren't meant to be doing it. Doesn't mean it's not for you. Doesn't mean it's not for future you. Even if it's an identity around money. If you have an identity that you are not a very financially wealthy person, it doesn't mean that can't change. Even if you've never experienced anything like it this lifetime yet. Even if you've never had a love you've wanted to have in the ways you've wanted to have it, well, that identity can shift. In a lot of ways, many things you would like to have, not all, can be on the other side of certain shifts like this that we're speaking about. So are you willing to let go of the old engine? Are you willing to let go of the old life? Are you willing to let go of the current or old phases? And stop letting them define you in totality. And stop having to cling to them to have your bright future. What is possible for you if you no longer have to cling to an identity? What is possible for you if you no longer have to have your engine built in a specific way and kept the same at all costs? What becomes possible for you if you allow yourself to have that V12 instead of the four-cylinder eco engine? Nothing wrong with either. No judgments of either. However, wouldn't you rather be what is optimal for you? Wouldn't you rather allow the possibilities? Wouldn't you rather let go of something you're clinging to that is just a phase that doesn't necessarily define you to have what you'd really like to have? So we will leave you there. This was really about the energetics of you rebuilding your engine. So we have facilitated work on you today, if you were willing to receive it. So while you were watching our words, or some of you might have drifted off into your own visuals, and that is perfectly fine. You simply needed the energies from this channel, and that's what we provided. We gave you a taste of the future. We facilitated your engine being rebuilt in the ways that were our part to do. And we kick-started a process into your ideal future. The rest is up to you. So we will leave you there. We will see you in the future for those of you who choose to return to our messages. And we are wishing you well. May the future treat you kindly. Farewell for now. The Angelic Collective Absorbital and Source signing out. Goodbye. Whew. Hey, Summerlay. Good to see you. You're welcome, Mylan. Cool. Well, that was big energy right now. Wow. Heck yeah. How's it getting better? Brilliant as usual. Thank you all. Thank you. You're welcome, Tanya. You're welcome, Brett. Very peaceful. Perfect. Ooh, I love that. Legit felt and think I saw the energies they sent. So freaking cool. Very freaking cool. I love that. You're welcome, Abundance Love Joy. It's awesome. The energetics, heck yeah. That was a good one. Felt it. Thank you. You're welcome, little Mandy Dandy. You're looking great. Brandon, thank you, Patrick. I appreciate it. Oh, I love that, Cassidy. Cassidy says their dad was a mechanic, so I really appreciated that metaphor. Very cool. Feeling that one. Let's go. Yes. New here, so glad I heard that message. Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Amanda. Really glad to hear it. So, if you are just tuning in or you missed it, I'm going to do my best to repost this on YouTube sometime this week. He rebuilt engines. Oh, that's perfect, Cassidy. I love that. He rebuilt engines specifically. I love that synchronicity. And sometimes TikTok does great with letting me download the live. Sometimes it's a little butt about me downloading lives. It just won't let me do it. And that's fine. I just trust that those lives just weren't meant to be on YouTube and watched by more people, and that's fine. But if this one lets me, if it allows, oh my gosh, if I'm able to download this one and repost it, I totally will. So I'm just going to put that out there. Needed this. I've been in my head you've been in your head about your knee injury, forgetting to be optimistic. I'm glad this was helpful, Britt. Oof, excuse me. Well, this has been good. I mean, usually that's kind of what we do for the lives. If you're new here, we do channel timeless collective reading for everybody. Then we do a full channel mode, and then we kind of simmer down. Well, we don't have to simmer down, but as far as like the live goes, then the live ends sometime after that. So, you're so welcome, Jack. Enjoy the night shift. I used to work nights. Tell us about your jewelry. Does it help you channel? So these guys, do they help me channel? They can. So this is actually from, no affiliation, by the way, twistedsage.com. And these are the new energy clasps, I think is what they're called. And they just kind of help energetically. Like they can kind of help keep you clean and clear energetically. They can kind of help you stay in a better place. And I've also noticed it helps when it comes to like other people's energies. Like, cause I wear like the Twisted Sage stuff all the time. And so sometimes I forget that it's helping me. So like I went through the airport, and then, you take your jewelry off as you go through the, oh my gosh, TSA, if you're in the US at least. And I had it off. And then like I went through everything. I'm like, oh man, everyone's energies are kind of crowded. And then I put the Twisted Sage stuff back on, and like the necklace and like the clasps on the wrist. I'm like, oh, that actually helps a lot. So that's a lot of what that does. It might be doing more even than what I'm saying, but it definitely can help with channeling and just maybe keeping you in an energy for that. I'm not going to like promise it's going to make you channel if you buy them, but yeah, I could probably do that, too. So, ooh, take my money. I just had my stomach hurt when people down the hall were talking about it. It's totally worth checking out. twistedsage.com. They have some really, really cool stuff. And again, no affiliation. So definitely just use your intuition with like, what tool is going to help me with this, or which one am I drawn to? So, but I love a lot of their stuff. Okay. I think we're good for this one. I'm kind of getting it's time to close the live down. So again, guys, maybe I'll hang out for a minute longer. It was good to get to do this for you. I hope the reading and the channel were helpful, or whatever you got to see. If you showed up a little bit later in the live, should be on my YouTube. YouTube is at Channeling Source, but with one L instead of two on YouTube. And I also post a lot of other stuff over there too. So you can, super helpful. Glad to hear it, Mylan. Thanks for letting me know. And I think that's it. I think I kind of get to these ending points where like I kind of feel like I should stick around, but I'm kind of getting it's time to start to close the live down. Do you have... Whoop. I think there was a typo there. Do I have an email for transfer email? I'm not sure what that's... I'm not sure what you're referring to. I'm so sorry. E-transfers. Like for money? If you're trying to send me money, like at Brandon H. Bloom works. If I'm totally misunderstanding, I totally forgive me then. I'm not sure why I'm not... I'm so sorry I'm not understanding what you're referring to there. What's new that's coming up? So not a lot that I'm getting to talk about now. Like on my website, I have like my current set of offerings. Like we have the one-on-one channel intuitive readings. We've got the one-on-one channel mentoring, something added in for those of you who would like to go like deeper, or like you're trying to work on hitting a target, or you would like one-on-one coaching for growing your gifts or something like that. So that's available on my website as well. Last month, if you're on my newsletter, you saw this, probably, but I launched an MP3 called Abundance Boost full channel mode session. So that full channel mode session you just listened to, it's a full channel mode session like that, except it's geared towards abundance, and it's like an hour long. And there's like a cool, almost like a channel guided meditation type portion that's kind of baked into it towards the end that kind of leads you through a lot of intuitive stuff regarding like what do you need to change to like have more abundance, or what do you need to let go of it, and it kind of clears energies and does the energy work too. So that's a really cool thing if it feels right to you intuitively to look into that. That's on my website as well, on my store. And I think if you would like monthly and like consistent channel content from me, I also have the Let's Go Higher membership if you'd like to go further with my work. And we do there's a ton of channel guided meditations. If you do the gold level, there's like full channel mode sessions galore. And we also do a monthly live with Q and Channel Day with member questions that I channel answers on. And then there's also there's a lot of content in there, so it would take a long time for me to talk about it all, but you can look that up on my website too. Anything else I should talk about now? Yeah, besides that, I've really been posting more on YouTube. I've been doing the Channel Advice on the Week Ahead on YouTube, and there's the Channeling Source podcast, was semi-recent. It's probably not as recent now anymore, but that's kind of what I've got going on now. As far as like future things, I will let you know when I am guided to let you know about it. Membership is amazing. Thank you for the shout out, Marina. I appreciate it. Yeah, and all that you can find through link in bio for sure. Where's this abundance meditation? Oh, so for the Abundance Boost full channel mode session, that is if you go to my website and go to store, and it's like one of the first ones on the that you can buy on the MP3s that's displayed there, or you can click on the full channel mode sessions link on the store. There's like a set of links under this when you click on store to go to, and that would be the one. And what? Someone else asked something else. Oh, and yeah, the Channeling Source podcast is the bi-weekly podcast. Yes, really enjoying the podcast. I'm glad to hear it. For sure. Podcasts are interesting because like you do get some feedback from it. Like people will comment like on YouTube, but you don't always get like as much direct feedback like right away. So you're just like, well, hope that was good. Let's move to the next one. And like you can know, like your spirit guides can tell you, but you know what I'm saying. So if any of that calls to you, I'd love to work with you or see what happens for you with any of that. Beyond that's kind of what at least a start with what's going on right now though. Hold on. So maybe it'd be good if I found a more of like a faster way to talk about everything that's going on. When I start talking about the promotional stuff, I guess you could say, or start talking about the things I have for sale. All right, guys, I appreciate it. I'm going to close it out. I hope you have a good night, and I hope things go smoothly for you what's the best thing for me to wish for you guys? Not while we're here. I am wishing you abundance, love, peace, optimal health, an upshift to your abundance if you'd like that as well. And I hope you have a good night. All right. You guys take care. Ease and grace. I am wishing you ease and grace as well. Thank you for reminding me. Absolutely. I appreciate Leo. Love you guys too. And that means a lot. And whenever you type it out or say thank you, they can definitely hear you. So, but this works too. I will, and I'll extend it to them as well, but they're all like, yeah, we know, we're good. They appreciate it though. I always feel spiritually fed when I come to the space. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm so glad to hear it. And I'm glad this is actual nourishment, you know, well, or metaphorical, whatever ways would be for the highest good. Not that people, yeah, you know what I mean. You didn't miss it. Perfect. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to close it out. You guys take care, okay? Have a good night.